or anything like that. So, if you want to start your recording, if you haven't already.
Yeah, just mashed it.
Outstanding. So, after the last 3 to 4 games, we spent in Gravenhollow. We have found a great deal of information out. The party located the very, very old library of Gravenhollow. It is a stone giant library that is essentially a repository of all stone giant knowledge for generations ad nauseum. It is where the stone giants store their information, and it is hidden. Very rarely are people let in, but you were able to locate it and get inside. And once you were inside, you learned that you could use crystals to ask questions as a way of communicating with the archives rather than reading them all. And you guys had a number of questions. You interacted with a number of echoes. You learned that echoes are something that reach back and forward. You are seeing people who are at the library in the past, who are in their eyes, they are seeing someone who is at the library in the future, and vice versa. You see people who are at the library in the future for you, but they are seeing people from the past. And you're able to interact across these rivers of time, as Dronga is so happy to say. And you manage to have some conversations with some of them. Throughout this process, you learned a great deal. One, you learned, starting with some of the early things, you learned that Queen Ophelia is still working with Breakin in Menzoberranzan under the effect of a variety of spells, not the least of which disguise. You learned that there are eight demon lords in the prime material plane. You learned a little bit about quite a few of them, but you learned all about the demon lords. You Baphomet, Demogorgon, Fraz Blue, Grasset. See, you learned about Juiblex is the Lord of Slimes, Zuktmoy, the Mistress of Rot and Decay. You also learned about Yanogu. And there was one more I'm trying to remember. Might be in your notes. Let's see. I had
that Orcus
or Blue.
Orcus was the one I missed.
That's the one.
The Demon Lord of Undeath and his joy. So there are 8 Demon Lords. You learned that in the process of interacting with a real life person from your time at the library is a drow. After talking to him, you learned that he was also investigating this. Vizirin Devere, a drow archmage in exile from Menzoberranzan and apparent enemy of Luth, that he is researching it, and he put you on the lead to looking into the archmage of Menzoberranzan, Gromph Bienre, and you discovered that it was Gromph Bienre who accidentally brought the demon lords to the prime material plane via a corrupted spell. He was casting a summoning spell. The spell was corrupted by a third stream of magic. He was weaving his own magic from the actual weave, tying in phase res from the Underdark, and a third stream tainted the magic and pulled it all 8 of these demon lords into the actual prime material plane, causing this catastrophe. So that was one thing that you learned. Some interactions that you guys had. You interacted with a echo. Excuse me, an echo from of Grazit. Some information was exchanged. Some regrets were had. It was a good time all around. After that, you had some interactions with a future version of Koshturkis and some creatures, a creature of the Society of Brilliance. And you interacted with a future creature from the future, dwarf, very old, Bruenor Battlehammer. It was something that you had been tipped off to using the visions that he may be able to help you, and he was looking for you. Sometime in the far distant future, he came to the Library of Gravenhollow with the explicit intent of finding your echoes and telling you to go to Gauntlgrim, where you can find the help you, or find the help you need, or provide the help they need, which may be mutually beneficial. That is the essential crux of it. Does anybody have anything else they want to throw in to bring Tanner up to speed? Tanner, I did authorize the monster manual. I think one of the updates for some reason removed it from authorization, so you can open that to get access to the creatures you had set up.
Sweet.
Does anybody want to throw anything else in that may have been flavoring or just information that I totally left out by accident?
We tried to scry on the Spider Queen, and she got pissed off and sent a wave of energy that caused a couple of us to go completely mad for like 10 minutes.
I wouldn't say we.
Thank you for saying we.
No, I wouldn't say we.
Yeah, that is true. They did actively attempt to scry in the archives of the present on the Spider Queen in her realm.
It was all drunk
That's
as
To the
fair.
hell.
Spider Queen.
It went pretty well.
Yeah.
For, everyone that wasn't Dronga in the spirit.
Loth disliked the behavior.
Fair.
Sure did. She made it very well known.
It's kind of bad to have forced arachnophobia when you're in the Underdark, I think.
Yep.
Get what you get.
Fun
Oh,
times
you guys
all
are
around.
afraid of spiders now?
Spirit has got a healthy case of arachnophobia now, yes. A rather
Awesome.
mild case, admittedly, but yes.
There was some additional echoes you can interact with if you have strong interest in the lore, things like that. You can scroll back and take a look at some of the creatures you can run into, echoes from the past and present and future. I put them in the entries there. But as we spent 3 or 4 games, I wanted to give you guys the option. Now that you've kind of put everything together, you capped off everything with a final meeting with Vizier and Devere, the Archmage. Now that you've pretty much gathered all the information there was to be gathered, he allowed, or essentially shared with you, that he is putting together a plan. His plan that he is putting together is to find a way to reverse the spell or banish the demon lords. He needs some more time to put it together, but he gave you information and the location of his home base and requested that you guys stop by once you have your affairs in order, because he's essentially going to need some lackeys to gather the materials for his spell. That was the impression you got. Essentially, he's the brains, you're the gopher.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You can take that as you will. So, and that was the end of last game. Now, you guys are absolutely more than welcome to spend as long as you want in Gravenhollow. But once you leave, it is extremely unlikely that you will be coming
Yeah, personally, I think we've done all we could here. I don't think there's really anything else for us to, um, anything else really to, especially considering that they were not very willing to give us another crystal.
And we
You did
somewhat,
break it.
yeah. Well, actually, technically, both broke it.
Yeah, but
We
that's
didn't
like
have anything to do with that.
sticking your hand in the
I see.
fire and blaming the fire.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Bastard fire burning me when I touch it.
I'm fired.
So when you guys are finished, you can leave Gravenhollow. We can discuss how and where. But when and if you would like to move around and take a look at other things, ask questions about things related to your characters, you're more than welcome to do. I will leave it to you to decide.
Uh-oh.
Did that one March Mage? Did he give us like a rendezvous point to meet him outside of Gravenhollow?
Yes, he gave you the location of his uh, base called a Raj.
Okay. Yeah, because I
Do
think
we know where Galtogrim is? Well,
You do not, but once you were finished and finished discussing things. Once you finished discussing things with the Archmage Vizier and Devere, he recommended if you need to, you can use a teleportation circle or beseech the library to send you anywhere you would like to go rather than walking. But obviously, once you use it, you will no longer be in Gravenhollow and therefore not able to do that.
with regards to Galtogrim, how what's the timeline like? Like, has Galtogrim been around as a dwarven outpost for a while? Is it recently discovered? Is it
Gauntlgrim has been around for a while, and it was established, then it fell into other hands, changing hands numerous times. Now it has been reclaimed recently.
and the name Brunner Battlehammer is not a unfamiliar name to anyone in the party, right?
Correct, except of course the Echo you've interacted with.
Well, like anybody from the surface. I guess maybe not everyone would know this, but everyone from the surface would be familiar with the name Brunner Battlehammer.
Not anyone here that you've seen. The rest of the party, you're gonna have to deal with. You're gonna have to talk that out with them.
Fair enough. So Agile Smoke at the very least would know about it. Never met him or anything. But
As
nice.
a learned
I love
cat,
things
yes.
have been rolled. Right,
A
right,
learned
right.
cat, right.
Yeah, do you all know who Bruno Battlehammer is? Yes.
No.
I'm from
Nope.
overseas, so the name's foreign to me.
Really?
I am from Mystica.
Oh, that makes some sense. Okay. Roland, you've been around.
Been around, but I have not heard this name before.
Dranga, different cast of dwarf, but King Bruno Battlehammer, ring any bells?
No, kings and the like were not my specialty. Sorry.
Okay.
It looks like it's
Okay, I
up to
do
you.
not know him personally or anything like that.
Oh,
But hero, surface by all rights, king of Mithril Hall, or I guess perhaps Gauntled now. I'm not really sure the rules for the dwarves. Anyways, as a hero, I only mean to say this: if anyone from the surface would try and gather a force to defeat the demons, Bruno Battlehammer would not be a surprise. Though I think we can trust our Drow mage friend here. I also would be very comfortable trusting Bruno Battlehammer.
All right, that settles it then. We're going up.
up a little bit.
Well, yeah, the Gauntled by legend. I've never been, and I actually did not even know it's found again. But Gauntled by legend is long forgotten home of Delzoon dwarfs. Underground. Dwarves live underground, yes, Ranga? So.
Durgar, yeah.
Well, is that Durgar a type of dwarf, no? Or am I very wrong?
No, yeah. Just not all dwarfs live underground. Very presumptuous.
She's got a point, I think.
Have you ever met a dwarf that did not live, or a Durgar that did not live underground?
No, because the fucking sunlight hurts our eyes. Shit. Where have you been?
But you just said that some don't. How'd you know?
No, there are other fucking dwarves
that live above the ground?
Yeah.
Do you mean elves?
No, they're all so short and stumpy, and a bunch of fucking airheads think they're better than us because they get to see the sun.
The sun's overrated.
Yeah, I would advise looking at the sun.
I tried. It hurt.
I as well.
Yeah, no, I know it fucking hurts. Every time his fucking thing turns on. I'm like gesturing at the spirit.
Her thing?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Get the two of you mixed up all the time.
That's the Baxius.
No. Damn it.
I'm just messing with you, Ranga. Okay, so anyways, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else for us to do here. We have many options. I think voting on where we should go next is of importance. The Veer did say that we could go to Gauntled first.
Yeah, he needs some time, I think. A few weeks,
yes.
said.
But I think there's a third option as well. And Smoke will just look at Spirit.
You kind of cut out there. I didn't hear you. You said I heard up to third option, and then all of a sudden it was just blank for a second.
Well, no, I'm looking at you, Spirit. The third option is your option, no?
But to say, yeah, I'm good either way.
No, but should we go back and try and get your family before her?
That was why I was considering maybe we should go to Gauntled. If anything, like you mentioned, this dwarf king might have some assistance he might be able to offer us. If we could maybe head back to Karzukar the Beholder, maybe with the force of, say, an entire army behind us, or at least some sort of military aid.
Well, we know where the Mizan is now, no? So we could go back to Karzukar and say...
we know where the general location is. We don't know the exact location. The reason I'm kind of curious is because I kind of get the overwhelming feeling that even if we do find the exact location of the maze engine and bring it back to the beholder, that he's not going to uphold his end of the bargain. After all, this is a beholder. I'm not entirely certain if he is exactly as trustworthy as he says he is.
Not exactly beholden to his word. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, I get it. That was pretty good, actually. Oh.
Okay, oh good.
Spirit does give a sad smile at this, but she does kind of give a nod.
I've assassinated Tyler.
Ah.
So, so Gauntlegrim then.
I'd say that
Works
would be
for
our
me.
best course of action, yeah.
Well, okay, so yes, but how quickly does this beholder want this information? Is he going to hold on to it for too long?
He didn't give us a time
Well,
frame, to my
no, hold
understanding.
on. Let me rephrase. Fuck. Is he going to come after us if we hold on to the information for too long? And he finds out that we know, haven't told him? Is that going to be a problem?
I don't think that came up during negotiations.
Furthermore, how would he find out? So we know.
Beholders are fucking insane. I don't know. He's also got a wizard, I think. They could be looking at. I don't know what the spell is called, but they can look. What we were doing.
I'm gonna look at Roland. Roland, does that not make any sense right now? Could the beholder be looking at us from this far away?
Sorry, could
No.
someone be looking at us from far away? Is that your question?
Yes, like the beholder. Could he be looking at us right now from far away with magic? I think Dragomir.
It's possible. How did you look at the Spider Queen?
Yeah,
With our
no,
eyes.
that's what I'm worried about. Is he currently watching us?
But we use the powers of Gravenhollow to do this. He does not have that.
I
But you think
just
he has
recently
similar
acquired the.
Uh.
Well, I just recently acquired the knowledge, I think, from being inside of the Gravenhollow, to be able to scry on creatures. So I believe it's completely plausible. Did you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Yep, go.
Just concerning news. Not the part that you have more power. That is good. I don't know. As well, well, if we go to Gauntlegrim, that's, dare I say, probably the safest place in the Underdark for us. Unless I am completely wrong.
I also think if he is scrying on us and he knows that we know where it is, where the maze engine kind of sort of is, then wouldn't he also kind of sort of already know where the maze engine is?
No. Yeah, maybe. But has anybody
also-
said it out loud?
Oh, it's in the labyrinth.
I also
nods.
don't think that, I also don't think he could scry on us while we were in Gravenhollow.
No, that's a
Are
good
we
point.
we're still in Gravenhollow.
Oh, yes, Roland. This is Gravenhollow, yes.
Yes.
You
We have
think that'll
several
buy
more
us
days.
some time?
Well, we can't exactly go
Possibly.
back with incomplete information.
That's also true. We only know the name of a place and its very, very approximate location. But I feel like he would want a very specific location.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Right. So, okay. So as long as we can explain that, then we're good.
Yeah.
So, Gauntlegrim. Okay. Two things I need to go accomplish. I will be right back. And Drongo will run off.
Where is she going?
She's gone.
First and foremost, Drongo's gonna go to the room of the past. Yeah.
We don't have a crystal iron. You got a
Oh, tits! I fucked that up.
That's often what happens.
So she walks in the room. You know what? Drongo forgot. She's a fucking dum-dum. She'll run into the room and she'll go, okay, I need to know about this. And then she'll start like explaining, being like, okay, so I need to know this situation from this perspective of my friend. And I'll go through like the details of the escape of my city with the Darrow friend that I took with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see, after I fell through the hole in the ground that led me into the pit that I ended up in where I met these guys,
Right.
I want to see the Darrow friend and his family, how they managed out. Like, did they make it out as well, or did they fall in? Did they get captured, kind of idea? And then
Right.
I'm sure I'm going to get turned away.
And who are you explaining this to?
Yeah. So I think Drongo would have the intelligence enough to find one of the Galabdur Stone Giants, yeah, and ask them.
So the Galabdur listen to your or your story, and they essentially will direct you to the archives of the past. They don't. I mean, you would need to go through tablets and books and scrolls and try to find that information if it exists in here.
No, I can't read.
If you could, it would probably still take you a couple weeks.
Yeah. No, fuck that. So you know nothing.
Yeah, they don't. They also are uninterested in reading these things, so they don't even read them. All they really have is directives they've been given.
Shite. She just kind of like stands there for a second, like really looking real pissed off. Just storm out of the room. Oh, fucking shit. Just angrily wander back to the group.
Did you find what you were looking for?
No.
Oh.
Fuck it. Okay, let's go. Pissed off. Leave.
But you know, that was good try, Dronga. That would have been good try.
Before we okay, I'll say this out of character. Does anybody have any lingering curses on them by any chance?
Not to my
Yeah, I think so.
It's a good question
Okay.
for Spirit, anyway.
It's an excellent question.
Say she doesn't think she's cursed. Not that she believes, anyway.
Yeah.
But you're always cursed.
Dronga's definitely thinking she's fucked up after the Spider Queen.
I mean, let's be fair. Yeah, Spirit's pretty much got...
I think she can see me.
I mean, Spirit's just batting 1,000 when it comes to these kind of things. So,
Good.
If you want to use Anara's Decanter, probably not a bad idea, just to be safe.
I don't know if that's going to be strong enough. I was going to say I could use Greater Restoration on both of you, but it'll cost you guys 100 gold pieces.
I'm
Me?
basically flat broke, so yeah.
What's the spell?
Well, I could technically. It's a greater restoration.
I have the money.
It says
was
I
like,
need
hold
diamond
on,
dust
hold
worth
on,
at
hold
least
on.
100 gold pieces.
Is it consumed? I'm assuming.
Yep.
I got some money to spare. I'll do it. I think she can still see me. Makes me nervous.
If you want me to go out and get diamond dust, Tony, I can wait for
Yeah,
that too.
you. As a general rule of thumb, I don't require you guys to pre-purchase that stuff. Just spend the gold. It's essentially just flavoring. It's like if you have the gold to buy a spell component for a spell, wipe the gold off and you can cast the spell.
Yep. Well, I'm saving my money to revive people, so if you're cursed,
That's
come
fair.
out of your own
Okay.
pocket. I'll revive
Let's
you
try.
if you die.
Yeah, let's try. Okay, you said 100?
Yep.
Okay,
Alright.
I took it out of my
I'll-
gold.
Okay, I'll try casting Greater Restoration on Dronga to try to remove any curses or magical effects on her.
All right, so with
Or,
Greater
I guess, just
Restoration,
curse.
Greater Restoration should. Let me scroll all the way down here. Those are your wild shapes. Those are your old wild shapes. Forgot we still had those on there. So Greater Restoration. Let's see. To undo a debilitating effect. So it's a charm, curse, reduction of their ability scores, reduction of their hit points, things like that. So yeah, it pretty much wipes out the vast majority of things that it can be wiped out. And
Cool.
you cast the spell, and it is successful in being cast on her, and she is cleansed of any lingering effects.
Woohoo! Does that mean the madness of Zuckmoy is gone now?
If it was there, you are cleansed of it. I'm not saying there was anything there, but if there was, it's not there anymore. And if there wasn't, it also is still not there.
It's like a pressure washer for the soul.
There are
Just
no
let me get in there.
there are no disabilities that you can detect.
Fucking.
I'm still scared of spiders, though.
That's psychological.
I have like a flaw in my thing that says madness of Zuckmoy, so
You
I'm
can
like
delete that.
pumped to get rid of that. Heck yeah.
Cool. You've
Yeah.
kind of taken a beating a lot, so you may or may not have a curse on you. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
Don't
if
know
I'd
how
be
to
able to
find
even
out.
try to detect that or not. That's not something Detect Magic would be able to sense. No.
no, I feel good. The same, but good.
Well, that's good. Well, if you think you need it, let me know. That's my 5th level spell slot for the day, so I can only cast it once.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Well, if I ever get 100 gold in my possession again, I'll be sure to come to you.
Oh, I could spot you, but I can't do it today anyways. I've already done it once.
No, I think I'm all right for now.
Okay.
You want some money?
Say out. I
don't require any money than what was required for the spell.
Me, hun.
Oh, got you.
But yeah, she turns to Dronga and she just Spirit's like, I appreciate it, but I think I'm all right for right now. If I start frothing in the mouth and start babbling in tongues, then then maybe we'll discuss that again at a future date.
Sounds good.
Can we see Dronga's coin purse?
No, mine.
Where'd she keep her money? Tyler?
It's inside her pants. Like, inside. There's like a secret pocket.
So we can't see the wild amounts of gold that you have?
No.
Oh, that's why Dronga walks so loudly.
Yeah.
4 digits. 4 digits of gold she has.
Oh my god.
I like the mental image.
I thought I had a lot of 400. I thought I was like stockpiling.
Well, I have 700, and then like another 300 worth of silver. But I'm saving all that for.
Dronga has more than 3 times that.
Oh my god.
Like, where'd you get all this gold?
Where did it
Who
go?
wrong?
I sold a bunch of shit, guys. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I had to roll charisma to see if she would be friendly enough to share her money. Fucking rolled 18. Pissed. That's why there was hesitation in the voice.
Oh fuck.
So yeah, I'm just gonna throw this in the Discord. I'm only gonna just show this part of her sheet. But when I say that I'm flat broke, I'm not kidding.
0.
Where did your money go? What?
She's a monk. What do you want from her?
Oh my god, how do you have 0 of everything?
If memory serves correctly, most of my stuff went to the Boots of Speed. And in fact, I had so little that I actually had to hit rolling up to pay for some of the cost.
I do recall that now. Yes.
So yeah.
I do recall that too,
No,
actually.
you're just living the ascetic monk lifestyle. It's fine.
So yeah.
I also sold a bunch of my weapons that I didn't use anymore.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Dronga's
So
just got like a giant backpack full of gold coins.
you know how? Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah. She has a bulge in her pants where she shouldn't have one. I'm just saying.
I believe that was what Queen Ophelia referred to as the prison wallet.
Yep.
No, not there. That's filthy.
Also not very sanitary.
It's in a bag,
Sanitary.
tucked in between my 2 layers. It's fine.
Okay, so... Wow.
Don't stare. It's not nice.
Is there anything else to do here in Gravenhollow, or off to Gauntlet?
Yep.
We should try and find that teleporting circle.
Yeah. See if we can find one here. And just go straight to it.
Well, I believe we just walk towards the teleporting.
Oh, that's true.
Because it's that way. I'll just point a direction.
Yeah.
All right. So you move in the direction of the teleporting circle, and your collective willpower guides you to that point. Once you reach there is a pair of Galabdur guards, as well as the guardian basilisk of the library, who is essentially taking a look at you. And the basilisk, in his guard duties, asks you if it is your intention to depart the library, with the understanding that you may not be granted access again unless the library deems you worthy.
We're all good, yes? Last chance.
Just saying. I don't think we're missing anything here.
No, I think I'm good.
There's no way to get another crystal.
I
Then no,
am
we're
not
good.
in charge of those.
Then
Where
we're
is
good.
it that you would like to be sent?
Pilgrim?
Gontalgrim.
Gontalgrim.
Gauntlegrim. Is this like we have to throw powder into a chimney?
The
Oh, heck yeah, I'm
Galabdurs
here for it.
move a door out of your way, and the basilisk lumbers in his basilisk fashion forward, and in the room ahead of you, the circular room, is a teleportation circle. A teleportation circle, now that you don't have a wizard, might be a unusual spell, but it is a spell that allows you to teleport from circle to circle. It costs 50 gold to cast. You use magical dust and assorted things of that nature, and you draw a circle on the ground, and it has runes of your making. And then when you teleport somewhere, you have to essentially put in the rune combination of the circle you're teleporting to, like a phone number. But it's a one time use, unless you want to make it permanent, at which point you need to essentially cast it every day for a full year. And the ingredients for making it permanent are more expensive because you are making it permanent. So when you're looking at, 50 gold, you're looking at about 20 grand in gold and gems. So when this room is opened, you see the teleportation circle inside is not done with chalk. It's done with gems and a variety of precious dust, and it is engraved into the smooth stone. And the basilisk instructs you to get into the circle.
Okay.
Rolling steps forward into the circle.
As you are not A, wizards, and B, presumably as you are not wizards, you do not have the glyph runic address to teleport anywhere. It would be irrelevant for them to share that information with you, and they wouldn't anyways. So, with that, the basilisk wishes you good luck and hopes that you found what you came to the library of Gravenhollow for. May the knowledge serve you well. And the library, casting the spell, the entire field of vision starts to waver, not unlike the visions you've been experiencing. Once you lose sight of the library, it feels like a pull behind your navel as you are yanked through the magical corridors created by the spell. And as you are teleporting, the magic drops you into a chalk teleportation circle as you find your feet hitting uneven, rocky ground. And having left the smooth stone of the library, the chalk teleportation circle has 8 robed mages around you. And as your eyes come slightly back into focus, you immediately identify all 8 of them as drow.
Oh.
As you are a little dizzy, just kind of getting your feet under you, you are noticing that in addition to these drow mages, you see there are numerous drow soldiers around behind you with crossbows. and they are watching you, essentially ensuring you don't do anything. But if you were to act in a manner that they apparently disapproved of, you would guess that those mages and crossbowmen would discourage such behavior. It doesn't. You aren't left wondering too long before a familiar drow makes his way through the crowd in a flashy fashion, and Jarlaxle himself steps forward.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, Drongo was about to go, fuck, take us back, take us back.
In his typical flamboyant fashion, he takes his wide-brimmed hat off his head, is sweeping it in a low bow to the party, saying, "My apologies. We gave your magical journey a slight detour. It is likely not wise, though the library's guardian, the friendly basilisk, is probably not aware. It's considered rude for deep dwarves and a smattering of other underdark and surface creatures to appear in a teleportation circle that has been dormant for hundreds of years in the midst of recently reclaimed Gauntlgrim. Probably is safer for your health, and I thought we would have a talk before you strolled in that direction." Would you take refreshments before we talk, or are you looking to move along very quickly?
I could have a nail.
I would love some tea.
He makes a motion, and some of the drow around him, now that they recognize the teleportation they stole was not something other than you, and they bring your requested drinks and or food as you see fit or to ask for. And he asks what it is you learned in the Great Library.
Yeah, so I think it would probably just, since this was something that Jarl actually commissioned us to do to very begin with, I think it would be, not a bad idea just to bring him up to speed with everything we've learned.
The Spider Queen is the reason there's demons.
what? Maybe.
Yeah.
The
No.
immediate. What?
She's part of the reason there's a guy who summoned them. He lost control. And then we looked on the Spider Queen and she saw us, so don't want to do that again.
Oh, by the way, there's like 8 demon lords also like currently gallivanting around the prime material plane.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot more than we expected.
Jarlaxle listens patiently. He doesn't seem surprised by any of the knowledge, but he also doesn't show any other emotion, so you're not able to really gauge whether this is new information, confirmation, or information he already knew. Is there anything you want to not share with him?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So after you guys share the full story there, you go all the way through and explain the full situation of what you learned. He tells you that you found out and confirmed a great deal of the things that he had been looking for, saying Vizier Devere is an extremely powerful wizard. He has a great deal of animosity towards Menzo Berenzan at Loth herself and Menzo Berenzan by extension as her favorite city, having exiled him before then destroying his house. He will be a useful ally, but not one that can be trusted to not have his own agenda. That being said, I have a request for you. King Bruenor Battlehammer has summoned numerous organizations from the surface, as well as some that have some small influence in the Underdark.
Oh, brilliant. We've
King
got business
Bruenor
with him, too.
Battlehammer. What's that?
So I said, Spirit just kind of like interjects and says, oh, brilliant. We've got business with him, too.
He is calling a council, a meeting to take place in the near future, to put together a plan as the effects of the demon lords have been seeping onto the surface.
Oh, that's not good.
Limitedly. I would request you act as a representative of an interested faction, though we were not invited. Brigandierth has interest in both the surface and the Underdark, and you would likely be better representatives than myself or another. We have some history. I would like to send you to negotiate on our behalf in exchange for the information as well as other useful services you could provide. I would request you secure an agreement from King Bruenor to allow a merchant from Brigandierth, who need not be a drow, but a merchant from Brigandierth, to lawfully trade in or within the outposts in the vicinity of the gates of Gauntlgrim, paying all appropriate duties and taxes as all other traders would.
Yes, we could at least offer that or
Let's say,
provide the proposition.
we'll definitely see what we can do.
I have little doubt you will be successful. I know that you would not be free without the assistance of Brigandierth, and I find that is a very motivating factor. If you would be so kind as to do such, you would also have the authority of Brigandierth behind you moving into the Dwarven Kingdom. If you would be interested in taking rest, you will find the gates of Gauntlgrim just under a day's march. And he points down a tunnel. He says, you may encounter patrols, you may not. But it is our intention to leave you to your business should you have no further need or questions of us.
Spirit kind of hesitates for a moment, and then she kind of like mentions off to the side to Jarlaxle, and she says, I do have a question. Y'all don't happen to have anything that could kill a beholder, do you?
He looks around and he points down at your fist and your knee and says, I've seen these do considerable damage, I believe. If you hit a beholder with them a few times, it will do the job well. But watch out for those eye rays.
Maybe connected question, but different angle. You wouldn't happen to know where the labyrinth is, do you?
He says the labyrinth from here is a considerable numerous day walk to the south. If he tells you that you're taking out your map, he tells you
Yeah.
that you are off in this direction. If we were to extend the map, Gauntlgrim is roughly about here. The labyrinth is this entire area.
Oh, it's
It's a series of interconnected tunnels. This is the Dark Lake.
Remember how long it took us to get across that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so this is okay. So we do actually know the labyrinth is there. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Okay. We will of course go to Gauntlgrim first and explore and do that piece of the puzzle. Yes.
Here
From that,
is-
just so I can get my bearing.
Mhm.
No, never mind. Nothing.
Give me a second. I want to send you guys another map that I actually recorded or created. Editing. Someone else had actually fully created. I edited it. So I'm going to download it real quick and pull it in for your usage. It's actually, in my opinion, a better map than that one in terms of visualizing the Underdark. And I wanted to pull it in. Let me. This is not, as I said, is not an accurate. It's not intended to be a tunnel for tunnel map, and it isn't necessarily the best either. But here you go.
Oh, that really clears things up for me.
Oh wow.
super helpful.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic, but so this is Gauntlgrim. Gravenhollow, where you found it, was around here. Now Gravenhollow moves, and its location's not specific. So that's essentially where you were. You can see points. I'm going to point them out to you on this map. You have Gracklestug, obviously the Dark Lake.
Yeah, I was about to say that greenish thing. There's the Dark Lake. Yeah.
This Neverlight Grove.
Right.
Slew Blue Dop was this nice little village here. There's some points I put on here that you've been to. This is actually Velkenvelv, where you started.
Oh, nice.
See, Mantle Dareth was about right here. Again, that's a hidden location, so an estimate. And Blinkden Stone is right here. And last but not least, places you know, this is Menzo Baranzan.
Yep. That's what I figured.
I feel pretty good about how far away that is from us.
Yeah.
So, things of note I'm going to be putting on this map. This is probably going to be a map we're going to use fairly. I'm going to create one. Him being Vizier de Veer's outpost is right here on the edge of this orange area.
Brain-shaped place.
So
You see it too.
Looks like a brain.
And then this whole area down here, as I indicated, is it's called the labyrinth. It's called that because it's essentially a labyrinth of mining tunnels. As I said, these are the major thoroughfares, tunnels, and things of that nature, but they're not the only ones. Especially in the labyrinth, you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of tunnels just interconnecting and weaving and turning back. And the answer to your question, Spirit, is no. He does not. He just continues to assure you that you have the ability to handle your own problems. He has faith in you.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence.
So that hopefully that map's a little better for you guys. That'll kind of help you out.
I'm just looking at the map here. I'm just kind of like trying to estimate where that beholder's lair was on here. I'm assuming not too far.
That's what I was
from
going to ask.
Gravenhollow.
I'm sure Smoke could find that.
Yeah.
Once I figured out where Gravenhollow was, I could 100% find it.
I do not doubt that. So it was you guys were heading to Gravenhollow. You were traveling specifically from where were you guys traveling? Mantle Dara. So you were traveling from here to this area. You took a detour to the south. It was somewhere in this area. You did not actually travel through this orange area. You guys had traveled through a series of tunnels that would have taken you about like this estimate, then up here. So it was somewhere in this area to the south of it. Yeah, you wouldn't have trouble finding it though, Smoke.
Yeah, like now knowing where we are on the map roughly, Smoke's been keeping track on our map the whole time, but he also that's part of my range, right?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite terrain is I don't get lost here unless magically lost. So we can get back whenever you want. I say in a different accent.
And she does deeply appreciate it.
Okay, let's. Thank you, to Axel. I guess we should continue on. Nix, have you thought about what you might embody for this?
That's a good idea. I will think about it.
Because Nix, I get the impression you have a way with words, no?
Have you got that impression?
Yes. Was I incorrect? No, I'm correct. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, did we want to ask Charlaxel where Felt Ridden is? Or
What's
are we not
that?
going to worry about that Darrow anymore?
All right.
How vengeful is the party?
I mean, if it's nearby.
To answer your question, Spirit, he tells you that he will absolutely pass the information along to Ophelia. And he knows that she wishes the same for you and your club.
I say we do miss our Queen of Friendship. I do anyway. Can't speak for the rest of the party.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Oh,
know
yes,
better.
yes. True.
No, me either.
So half of us miss her greatly.
Someone's like, oh, right, she probably wonder where Jurgis went off to. And say, yeah,
Indeed.
and she like turns to Dronga and she's like, oh yeah, that's right, you never met her, have you? Let's say you'd love her.
Right.
Question, actually, I mean, you wouldn't happen to know where, what's the place called again, Roland?
Felthridden, I believe.
Yes, yes. What that is, we have an adversary there.
He says Filth Riddens is a shanty town found in, I'd say, maybe a few days' march north of the middle of the labyrinth. It is near the middle of the labyrinth, and it is not an easy place to find without some direction, but on the upside, it's where most creatures in the labyrinth end up one way or another, so you will eventually find your way there if you're looking to. I would ensure that your valuables are well secured if that is a place you plan to attend.
Oh, we know all too well.
It is of additional note that the filth riddens of late have become populated by an overabundance of minotaur related demons and gnolls,
Oh,
as I believe this is the location their patrons are choosing to establish themselves. And as demon lords are wont to do, they like to claim land others wish to claim so they may win it.
I'd say that sounds like Yinogu and Baphomet are kind of battling out already.
Travel with care into that area.
Will do.
And yet, sounds like it's more and more likely we will go there at some point, no?
He gives a slight shrug. He says he will leave the details of handling it up to you, but he would advise trusting in the brilliance of Vizier and Devere. He was incredibly talented at Sorcerer and would likely have become the Archmage of Menzoberranzan. His talent was such, should he have not been exiled. But he was. His focus was on the arcane rather than the politic, which is why he found himself exiled. A lesson he may have learned from.
Well, thanks again, I guess. And we will go to Grim with your instructions.
He gives you another sweeping bow before gathering up his collection of mages, the dust on the ground starting to fade, and he and they fade into the shadows, leaving you guys rested and ready to move on. Are you guys wanting to do anything? You do not need to rest, but if you wanted to, you could.
I think he said it was a day's travel to Galto, right?
Just under a day, but yeah, you could make it today before you finished your business, rested, and then took the teleportation circle.
Yeah, so let's get there. Let's do it.
Yep, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as
So
you
I think-
are, what's that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think we'll follow the our typical formation. I'm not. Where's Nix in that formation? We haven't talked about that.
She'll be in the middle with me probably now that she's blind.
Yep.
Righto.
Yeah, I thought you
Wait.
guys would appreciate this map better than the others, but I'm gonna close it. You can take it as you close it down, or put it as a hotkey if you want.
Oh, true.
It's a good one, actually. Yeah, no, I do like it. Did we have a way of dealing with the was that spirit who could give dark vision to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can go ahead and do that. I believe that costs
Oh,
me
wow.
a key point if I'm not mistaken.
What's the map called again, Tony?
North Dark.
Gotcha. And a oop.
Yeah, level 2 transmutation. I can go ahead and do that.
On the upside, as you guys are starting to move, let me shut my ringer off. As you guys are starting to move, it doesn't take you very long, maybe 2 hours, before you start to find these tunnels are becoming more level. And then you actually find that the tunnels are actually flattening out and paved. The tunnels are showing signs of being worked stone for the next few hours. And before you finally, after about 6.5 hours, you reach the gates of Gontal Grim. The gates of Gontal Grim themselves, the Underdark gates. There's actually numerous gates into Gontal Grim, but what would be well timed? What would be the fun if you didn't get to see what the gates of Gontal Grim look like?
Nice. At some point, as we started to approach the gates, Nyx would have tried to find a side tunnel to duck into. Just one moment. And they disappear for a little bit, for a few moments, and out of the tunnel steps a male copper dragonborn, wearing less fine clothing than Nyx did before. Okay, I think this disguise should suit me fine.
Do you like to change your form often?
No, I just don't think that the dwarves would like drow that much.
That's a fair point.
Adra and Roland, do me a favor. Not right now, per se. You can do it now or later, but can you shoot me a picture of your characters in Discord and/or Facebook? Just their portrait. It looks like I jacked up their portraits because I transfer the files to my laptop between games, do my prep work on the laptop, then transfer it back. Apparently, doing that foobars the portraits a little. I have everybody else's. You guys don't usually notice it, but I do.
Sounds good. Give me 1 second.
No hurry though. No issues. If you've already sent it to me, I can probably scroll back and find it. So, as you approach Gonto Grim, the picture notwithstanding, there are obviously guards. You approach the guards, and as you get within a reasonable distance, you are called upon to halt.
Agile Smoke will walk up to Nyx
Yes.
And just give Nix a nudge. So I'm like, I'm in the wide open for a change, not trying to be sneaky here. And hey, Nix, this is your chance.
Of course, of course. Hello, we are fine travelers here to do business with the fine dwarfs of Gauntlegrim.
The dwarves kind of look around at your stuff and say, "You carry no goods, you bring no wagons, and you travel without presumably a merchant's authorization. Who are you? Where do you come from? And what is your intention?"
Well, I am Adarix Nix, and these are my faithful companions. We are representatives of Brigand the Earth and wish to speak with the king to broker a trade alliance between the two.
Definitely get their attention. Seems to catch them considerably off guard. They weren't quite ready for that. They kind of tell you to hold on, having some whispered, quick conversations to themselves before turning back to you and saying, "Please hold on." And
Of
they send a.
course.
Ooh, that's a great picture, by the way. They
But you're
send a representative, a runner, through the side door, and takes about 10 minutes before the runner comes back and whispers something. And the runner is joined by a less grimy looking soldier dwarf. He is in some more refined clothing, some robes, and the guards move, and the more refined looking diplomatic dwarf says, "Representatives of Breakin the Earth are welcome in Gauntlegrim. I have no doubt that Jarlaxle heard of an upcoming meeting, and the ears of Breakin the Earth would be very welcome."
Yes, of course. This is precisely why he sent us here.
Please follow me.
All right,
And
in we go.
he escorts you through one of the side doors that obviously doesn't involve being the main gates being pulled apart. So as you are escorted in, he tells you that the king has retired for the evening, but you shall be taken to your rooms and allowed to rest as you see fit. And from there, you will be given reasonable leave, given free reign of the area, at which point you can travel as you see fit within areas that you are authorized to travel in. And you will be called upon for the meeting with King Bruenor when the time is appropriate.
Splendid. Thank you so much.
Dropped the wrong one there.
Ow, my knee.
I have you do get a couple sideways glances from Dronga, being a deep dwarf, but claiming to be representatives of Breakin the Earth gets you entrance fairly quickly. I don't have an active token for Nyx. I'm gonna have to get her one. I
Okay.
have the portrait you sent me, but I'm not gonna go ahead and interrupt game time.
Yeah, of
But
course.
she's the empty one, so there's that. So, a couple things. The scale of the map is. Let's see, let me adjust this scale. This scale is not accurate. So, there we go. The beds and the tables. This should be. The scale of the map was accurate. Okay, so let me scoot these over. I don't want to put it in the wrong place. Let's see if I can get you guys. I knew it'd do that. It doesn't keep you guys inside of or outside of walls, so I actually put you in the middle of a wall if I'm not careful. All right, so here you go. Here is the map of Gauntlgrim. You are shown by the dwarf to a room here. This room has 4 beds, but it also has areas to roll out a bedroll. There are 6 of you. There's another room that you can be given and made available to you if you want to use it. It's to the south, but in case you wanted to stay together, you have chests and tables and kegs and pretty much anything you have need of. They tell you that as representatives of a faction, you are free to wander. You are free to look around. They warn you that Gauntlgrim is not completely safe. There are still many areas that are wild, and if you travel, you may find yourself accosted by creatures wandering into the civilized areas from the wild areas. We do have patrols, but I would travel carefully. Freshen up, rest, and King Bruenor will see you when he is able.
Splendid. We look forward to it.
So, okay. Looks like somebody didn't get the map. Let me share it again. So, the map is yours to explore. This is going to be where we end the game tonight. We'll pick up the game next week for, as far as story goes, for moving about and meetings. But if you wish to explore the map, you are absolutely welcome to do so.
All right. I actually have a question.
I'm ready for the
Or
question.
rather, more of a statement followed by a question.
Mhm.
I had completely forgotten about Ruslana.
Yeah,
Right?
us too.
And my question is, what has she been doing this whole time? And I have a follow up. Has anyone else noticed that she has 476 hit points?
I
That's
have
not
noticed that.
It's supposed to be 46. My bad.
Okay, I was like, are we
How did you
including an
see that?
actual dragon with us? A combat tracker.
470 million hit points. No, it's 46. She's a
Okay.
spellcaster.
I was terrified. Did we need to rescue this woman? Apparently not.
Oh god. I just opened it up and it says 350.
What?
It's just showing 46 on my end, so
Yeah,
Terrifying.
it's showing 46 now. But yeah, I saw that earlier. And I was like, I'm not going to mention it.
Now she's healthy.
yeah.
Merely healthy.
So, I do want to give credit to this. This is not my map. This is a map maker. I will have to find. I had the maker. I'll have to get it. I apparently wrote it down on my notepad that is in my office at work. So for next week, I will have the maker of the map. That way they can have credit. It's a beautiful map.
Absolutely.
More than welcome to explore it. And let's see. So if you would like to end the game and just go on your way, I know you guys have just only seen this room, but you're essentially given free reign. They'll stop you before you go somewhere you're not supposed to go. But other than that, that is going to be the game for tonight.
Nice. Also, we should discuss throughout this week what we're going to negotiate the king with, because we were just kind of told make a trade agreement happen.
Give him information of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll chat about it.
Yeah.
Real quick, would you like that token permanently for Adra, or would you like to change it as the change happens?
I think I'd like to be able to change it if it's not too much effort on your end, or.
Not at all. All I need is the picture.
All right. I'll get the current form at some point as well during the week.
It's actually surprisingly easy. All I have to, I mean, honestly, I think you can do it.
Nice.
On your character sheet, if you were to click on if you look at your character sheet, you got the token on the right, you have a portrait on the left. If you click on that, you should, hypothetically, be able to add your own portrait there.
Yeah, I did that. For me, Adra has the elf portrait.
Gotcha. And that's
right now, but I think that's just local on my machine.
Well, it wouldn't be local on the machine if I wasn't constantly moving things.
Okay.
But I can put this one up fairly easily.
Nice.
But if you send me the picture, it takes me all of 6 seconds. If we're changing 20 times in a game, that might be different.
Only for flavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you upload a photo, Tony?
Yeah, because we go to the select portrait one, and then we try and open a folder and pick a photo on our computer, and it just opens the picture. It doesn't actually upload it.
So for me, I'm not exactly sure how. Let me save this as rolling. So for me, what I have to do is, I'm not sure from the player version. Do you guys have an asset? Actually, no. When you click on it has a select portrait. Do you have the buttons at the bottom that say folder?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you
That's where I usually go.
That will open up obviously a folder, and you can move whatever portrait you want to use into there.
Yes, and then it will be in the data folder, I believe, and then you can select it from there.
In the data folder.
Correct.
If I close that, go back in here.
You may have to click the refresh button at the bottom.
I did that at one point after I uploaded that to see if anything would happen, but aha! Ta-da!
You can easily change it.
Oh goodness.
Or change your token.
So the token is a different thing. If you don't have a portrait, it will create a token of your own. The tokens with the green background, I actually created those using, one second.
Roll advantage.
I think that might be it. Let me see.
Token stamp.
Token stamp to roll advantage.
Yeah.
Yes, good one.
That's where we make all of ours too.
So yeah, I just go there and I pick the it's actually classic 5e medium, and then I just go to green or red or yellow as appropriate. So you can change them. I'm happy to do it for you. The only issue is sometimes if I move my folders to and fro, it can actually cause issues for me. And that's kind of what I do, is I steal the entire Fantasy Grounds folder from my computer. When I move it over to my laptop, do all my D&D prep work there, then I move it back to my desktop where I run the games from. But it never removes the tokens I've created, so I can create you a token, but it always removes the photos for some weird reason. But 'tis neither here nor there. I'll let you guys go on with your happy evening, and I'll be on for a few more hours. So if anybody has any questions, I'll leave the server up as well. Next 2 games will probably still be role playing before we move on to the meat and potatoes. You guys should be enjoying the last few games and the next few games, because you should be having a much more firm and clear idea, as well as a firm and clear agenda on how to accomplish your goals, or at least how to move forward, make progress on them. So it's less in the dark than you have been.
Makes sense, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Leave the Underdark and head into the upper light.
Ha.
Have a good week, guys.
And you
Yeah,
as well.
you too. Talk
Good
to you
night.
Take
later,
care,
guys.
everyone.
Good luck.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
You too.